Hi guys, my name's Marty and I'm going to show you how to install WordPress step by step in 2026. So first, if we go to wordpress.org and click Get WordPress in the top right, we can see there's an option to download the WordPress files to our computer here on the left. And then beside this, we have the installation guide. And this makes it look really confusing. I'll be honest, when I first started out, I actually gave up a few times when trying to install WordPress as the process seemed too complicated. But it turns out we don't actually need to do any of this stuff at all. All we need to do is choose a hosting provider that has a built-in WordPress installer, which these days is most of them. And just to explain things a little here, in order to install WordPress, we need two things: a domain name and web hosting. A domain name is usually just the title of a website or business with www before it and .com after it, and it's what people are going to type into their internet browser to visit our website. Then web hosting is where the different files that make up our website will be stored online so people can access them. Then once we have a domain name and web hosting, we can install WordPress. Now, there are tons of different places to get domain names and web hosting online, but if we head back to WordPress and click into hosting at the top, this will show us the different hosting providers that WordPress recommend using. Now, Pressable is known as fully managed hosting, which can be a little bit more expensive than regular hosting and comes with a bunch of extras we don't really need for a basic WordPress website. So instead, we're going to go for the next choice, which is Bluehost. And Bluehost is shared hosting. They're super popular, much cheaper, and have everything we need for a WordPress website, including a built-in WordPress installer. They also offer a free domain name for the first year with all of their hosting packages, which would normally cost us around $13. So we just need to go to bluehost.com, or if you want to help support my channel, you can use my link in the video description or visit the URL that's on screen now. I will earn a small commission if you do this, and you'll still get the discounted price and a free domain name for the first year. This really does help support the channel and lets me keep making tutorials like this for free. So thank you very much if you use my link. Then either way, once we get here, we're going to hover over hosting at the top, and here we can see they offer WordPress-specific hosting, but we don't actually need this, and it's a little more expensive. So instead, we're going to click into web hosting. Then click See Plans and Pricing, and this will show us the different hosting plans they offer. For this, we're going to go for the starter plan, which allows us to have up to 10 websites and up to 40,000 visitors per month. But if you really think you need more than this, you can always go for the business plan, which allows up to 50 websites and 200,000 visitors per month. Then once we've choose our hosting plan, we just need to click Get Started. And now we can register the domain name we want for our new website. So we just need to type the domain name we want in here, and for my example, I'm going to type Martie's website. Then we can change the domain extension on the right if we like, so we could choose something like .org or .net, but I'm going to leave this on .com for mine. And if you're unsure or don't have a specific reason to change this, .com will always be a good choice for your domain. So for this example, the domain name I'm registering here is martieswebsite.com. Then once we're done, we can click Search for Domain. And as long as the domain name is available, we should be brought to a page that looks like this. Then over on the left at the top, we can enter the email address and password we want to use for logging into our Bluehost account. Or we can use a Google, Apple, or GitHub account to log in. Then under this, we have some recommended add-ons, but as we don't need any of these, we can leave the boxes on the left unchecked. Then over on the right at the top, we can choose how often we'd like to pay for our hosting. It's automatically set to 3 years, which is the best deal, but for this example, I'm going to change mine to yearly, so I still get a great discount and a free domain name. Then under this it says Data Center, and it'll automatically choose the best one for us. But if for whatever reason we want to change this, we can click here and change it to a different one. But I'm going to leave mine set to London, which is the one that was pre-selected. Then under this, it'll show the length of our plan, and then over to the right, the cost. Next, it shows our domain name, and we can see here that we're getting our first year for free, which would normally cost us around $13. Then here it says Domain Privacy Protection and Professional Email Trial. But these are both paid add-ons, and we don't need either of them to install WordPress. So we can just click the trash icon to the right of each one to remove them from our order. And then finally, we have the total price to pay. So here we can see it's going to cost me $59.88 for 12 months of hosting and my domain name. Then if we look here, I'm also getting a discount of $107.99, which is awesome. And there's nothing else we need to pay in order to use WordPress, just the domain name and hosting. So it's only going to cost around $5 per month to run our website. Then once we're happy with everything here, we just need to enter our payment details on the left, and we can choose either credit or debit card, Google Pay, or PayPal. And once we've entered our billing information, we can click Submit Payment on the right. So I'm just going to pause this video while I fill out my personal information and pay for my order. Then I'll come back and we can carry on together. Okay, so that's me now back, and after paying for my order, I was logged into my Bluehost account. Now, if we click into Websites on the left, we can see here that WordPress has already been installed for us automatically. Now, it says here, this website is using a temporary domain, and then this is the temporary domain. But if we click Manage Site over on the right, and then click into Domains at the top, we can see our temporary domain is here, and then the domain we just registered should appear underneath it. Now, don't worry if the new one doesn't show up right away, as sometimes it can take a little while. So basically, because a new domain name can take a few hours to set up, Bluehost assigns us a temporary domain to use until then. And that way we can start building our website right away without having to wait. So our website will use the temporary domain until the new one's ready, and then it'll change over by itself. Then here at the top, we can see our website is currently called Welcome, but if we click Rename to the right, we can change it to whatever we like. So I'm going to change mine to Martie's website, and then click Rename in the middle. And at this point, we'll see our website's name has now been changed at the top. And now if we click Edit Site to the right, this will open up our WordPress website in a new tab. Now, when we first install WordPress, Bluehost are going to want us to either use their AI site creator or import an existing WordPress site. But we're not going to do either. Instead, we can close out of this new tab. Then we're going to click into Plugins at the top. And then beside the Bluehost plugin, we're going to turn this switch off and click Proceed. Then once the Bluehost plugin has been deactivated, if we click Edit Site in the top right, this will open up our WordPress website again in a new tab, only this time it'll bypass the Bluehost onboarding process. And this is us now logged into the WordPress dashboard. So this is what we'll see anytime we log into our WordPress website. And the dashboard is where we can add content and make any changes to our website. Then if we click our site title in the top left, this will show us what WordPress looks like when we first install it. And don't worry if yours looks a little different than mine, as sometimes they change up the default theme. But either way, it's just going to have some demo content on it for now, like this demo blog post called Hello World, and this demo comment. Then if we look up at the top, we can see my website is currently using the temporary domain name, but this will update to the one I registered at the start as soon as it's ready. Then to get back to the dashboard, we just need to click our site title again in the top left. And as I said, this is where we can add content and make changes to our website. So over on the left, we have things like posts and pages, then our comments. We can change our theme under appearance. Then we have plugins, users, and settings. So that's us now at the end, and that was how easy it is to install WordPress in 2026. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please give it a like to show your support, and subscribe to the channel for more WordPress tutorials in future. Once again, my name's Marty, and thank you for watching.